I'm here in Hyde Park in Sydney, standing in front of the Archibald fountain. It's one of the city's most iconic landmarks, but it's more than just a beautiful fountain. It's a work of symbolism designed in 1932 by French artist François Leon Sicard, and every figure here tells a story about protection, science, and the power of reason. At the centre is Apollo, the Greek god of light and the arts. He represents harmony, civilization, and rationality. The idea that human beings can build a just and enlightened world if they hold on to truth and reason. Apollo radiates calm and strength, holding out his hand as if to protect and guide. Over here we have Pan, the god of the fields and pastures, surrounded by animals. Pan represents the natural world and fertility, reminding us of our connection to land and earth. In the original symbolism, Pan shows that civilization can't survive without respecting nature. This is Diana, goddess of the hunt, with her bow drawn. She symbolizes protection, not through brute violence, but through vigilance. She represents the defense of the vulnerable, the readiness to act when justice is threatened. And here, Theseus, slaying the minotaur. This is perhaps the most dramatic figure of the fountain. It's a direct symbol of reason defeating chaos, of civilization overcoming brutality. The minotaur, half man, half beast, stands for violence, oppression, and the abuse of power. Theseus, the hero, represents science, courage, and rationality, cutting through fear and protecting people from the monsters of tyranny. Taken together, the fountain is not just decoration. It's a vision of how civilization should defend itself, with truth, science, vigilance, and courage. Protection doesn't come from domination, but from standing against cruelty with rational clarity. And that's why it feels so powerful that the Archibald Fountain has become a gathering place for the pro-Palestine protests happening here in Sydney. People stand around this fountain calling for an end to violence, for justice, for protection of the innocent in Gaza and Palestine. The symbolism of the fountain speaks directly to what they're asking for. Apollo reminds us to hold on to truth, to cut through misinformation and see suffering clearly. Diana reminds us that protection is a duty, especially for civilians caught in conflict. Pan reminds us that land and people are inseparable. And Theseus shows us that monsters, whether they take the form of tyranny, occupation, or unrestrained violence, can and must be resisted by courage and reason. So when I'm here, being around this fountain and joining protests, I can't help but think that Sicard's vision of rationality and justice protecting humanity is still alive. It's not just carved in bronze and stone. It's being lived out by the people gathering here, demanding that science, reason, and international law be used to protect life rather than excuse its destruction. The Archibald Fountain was meant as a gift, a reminder of France and Australia's alliance during World War I, a tribute to ideals of civilization. Almost a century later, it's become a stage for people demanding those same ideals: justice, protection, and peace. And that's why I visit this fountain, not just to film this incredible monument, but to join the call that these figures seem to echo, for humanity to stand against cruelty, for reason to triumph over violence, and for protection of the vulnerable to be our guiding light.